half of that 35 years. And then the remainder of that 35 years, I was the director of special services for a school district. So at Wilkes, I'm pretty much the special ed department at the undergraduate level. We are a small school. And so if you sign on to special education, you're very probably going to have me for almost all of your coursework in special education. 4 of those specialized courses, we are partners with a professional development school. It's a private school for students with autism and behavioral difficulties. And so you will get lots and lots of experience, lots and lots of hours in those classrooms. And I was just sharing with Dr. Galella, because of this whole pandemic situation, we also have it set up so that students are participating virtually in these PDS programs. Even though they can't be actually in the classroom, they're still engaged with students, still doing the work that they would be doing if we were face-to-face with them. So that's really exciting.
Thanks so much, Dr. Franz Frey. And boy, any student who has you as a professor is quite fortunate, I think. Hey, we'd like to welcome Nick and Andrew. Hi, how are you? Andrew, where are you from?
I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles north of Philly.
Ah, so which town specifically?
Percy.
I know Percy. I know a good jeweler there. I got some fabulous jewelry in Percy, and I love Bucks County. Absolutely. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gorgeous. In fact, can't wait to go back to New Hope along the Delaware.
Oh, I love New Hope.
Place. Hey, Nick, where are you from?
I'm from Westchester, New York.
Good, 2 from New York today. That is fabulous. Hey, we were just introducing ourselves. There's Dean Rhonda Rabbit, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Suzanne Galella, our chairperson of the undergraduate department, Dr. Franz Frey, one of our illustrious faculty, and I'm Dr. Diane Polachek. I've been at Wilkes a long time. I came with the bricks and the mortar. I'm not even going to tell you how long I'm here. It's been a long time. But it's a testimony to what I think about Wilkes, and I'm known as a lifer. I'm here for life. I love it. Before Wilkes, I taught French at a private school for 7 years and loved it. Absolutely. All right. So jump in if you have any questions at all. We're going to start now. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to just take a look now at our PowerPoint. And if you have any questions, just let us know or comments, and we're going to try to be as thorough as possible without belaboring any points. And we're going to share a lot of practical things with you today and answer all of your questions, hopefully.
So how would you like them, if they do have a question, how would you like them to get your attention for that?
Just jump right in and ask. Okay. That's fine. It's a small enough group. We can still do that.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to see everybody's hand raised. If you raise your hand.
Yeah, well, Suzanne and Karen and I can help monitor that.
Yep, we'll monitor that, and I'll be monitoring the chat too. So if we miss your hand, just you can type in the chat as well.
That's perfect. Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now. We've got PowerPoint up. It's called Becoming a Teacher, and it's by the Education Department. And something's going on with my I think moving to the next slide. I'm going like in increments like that, but we did our introductions. We found out where you were from. Thank you. Oh, Nick and Andrew, let's ask you both right now. What areas are you interested in? Nick, would you go first, please? Early childhood, elementary, middle, secondary?
Physical education and like middle school to probably elementary.
Okay, so you're interested in middle school or elementary. Okay, all right. Great. And Andrew, how about you?
Probably secondary education, probably high school. Subject, probably math.
Mathematics.
Wonderful.
Great. Wonderful. Both wonderful. All right.
Well, Andrew, I'm really excited about that because we need people who are comfortable with math so kids can be comfortable learning math.
Right. We do. We need teachers in every area, but particularly math and science. That's always an area of need.
Absolutely. And Dr. Galella is going to start us off. She's going to start to talk about our mission of our department with you.
Sure. So you will see that our mission, and we truly do live this mission, that we provide you and our educational community and society that we have competent, caring, and ethical educators. So, you know, that we are lifelong learners, our learning process never stops, that we are reflective practitioners and effective communicators. And this is really present, and you'll see a thread of this in everything that we do, all of our coursework, all of our field experience and professional development experiences. Dr. Polachek spoke a little bit about some of our off-campus, I will say, experiences. We have students that we can take to Panama. We also have a student teaching in Arizona. So several different experiences that really embody our mission. And it's something that we hold very dear. And you'll see this is just a picture of some of our graduates from a few years ago, all of who are teachers right now and have positions. One who has her own childcare center.
Mhm.
Exciting. And some people asked at another open house, what are those cords they have around their necks? Well, Dr. Franz Frey, would you just answer that question briefly now? I know you go into it a little bit later on, but what are those cords? Looks like they're purple and green.
Yeah, the purple and green cord is the recognition for students who are inducted into Kappa Delta Pi. That's an international education honor society, and Wilkes has a chapter on campus. So as they progress through their coursework, once you meet certain requirements, you can be eligible for induction into this honor society. And then it's a very formal ceremony where you receive your cord and your certificates, and then you wear the cord at graduation.
Thank you.
And you will see that we really do have quite a breadth of certifications and programs to choose from. So if you choose Wilkes, you can major in elementary and early childhood education, and you may hear that referred to as PK4. And that is the certification that our state of Pennsylvania adheres to. We also have middle level education, and you can focus on English language arts, social studies, math, science, or a combination of math and science, and that is grades 4 through 8. Secondary education, we offer 9 different certification programs: biology, chemistry, earth and environmental science, physics, mathematics, Spanish, which is actually a K through 12 certification, English, social history, and political science. So those are our 9 certification areas. And you can either minor or major in secondary education, as well as hold that double major in your content. And we also have dual certification in special education. So you will see on this slide that it's either a PK8 or 712. We have recently been approved to offer a birth through 21 years of age certification. So for many of you that are interested in special ed, you can either decide to take that as basically a dual certification, where you would come out with certification in, let's say, pre-K4 as well as special ed. And we're also in the process right now. Dr. Fry has been working so diligently on this, and it's actually going through the process this spring semester come January through our channels at Wilkes. And then ultimately this spring, it will go to PDE for approval for a standalone special education major. So Clancy, that was why I asked you if you were interested in teaching solely special ed, or if there was a content that you were interested in, because our hope is that by next fall, when you would be ready to come, we would also have an opportunity to offer a special ed standalone major. And we would be offering that, it's called a 4+1. So in a 5-year window, you could ultimately have your bachelor's degree in special ed as well as a master's degree in special ed. So that's some programming that we're working on right now. And we're also offering master's level programs in that 4+1 realm with a certification in online teaching. And we think we've had the certification for quite some time, but I think at no better time do we really need to offer this to students and package it in a way that makes sense for them. Because as you know, as students, many of you are in hybrid situations or in fully virtual situations. So we want to make sure that our students have that knowledge base so that they are as successful as they can be when they leave.
Oops, did she go out for anybody else?
Yes.
Lost you. Yeah, lost you, Suzanne.
You did?
Just a little bit. It's okay. You're back.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We heard everything. You just kind of froze at the last minute.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add so that the change of the grade band birth to 21 is because of the state change of
Yes.
certification. So we're always on the pulse of what the state and what the needs are out in the market.
Absolutely.
We have an elementary and early childhood education certification program, and that's the major. So every major has a name at Wilkes, of course. And if you're interested in pre-K through grade 4, this is what your major would be called. And the photo here, most photos are really indicative of what we do here at the program and our programs at Wilkes. And these are actual students. And you see our student, there's Jen Barron in the back, one of our former students who's now teaching in Arizona. And she was teaching a summer course here on campus. We change quite frequently the classrooms into elementary and some middle level classrooms often, and teach kids in the summer on campus, which is kind of fun. And if you get an elementary and early childhood major, guess what? A reading minor automatically comes with it. 6 courses are embedded. So that's great. And that's something unique to say to someone who is interested in hiring you as a teacher. Oh, I also have a reading minor. How about that?
And it didn't add a whole nother year to your study.
Right.
That's
It
right.
did. And we have a middle level certification area, and it's called middle level education. It's the name of the major. And we've got multiple concentration areas, and you would be certified to teach grades 4 through 8. This is a hot area. Just in case any of you are interested, you should know that. Middle level teachers are at a premium, and the school districts are looking for them. You can select math, science, social studies, a combo of language arts, English and reading, or mathematics and science. Very cool. Here are all those areas that Dr. Galella knows by heart.
I do. I usually always forget one, but I think I got them all tonight.
You did. And this happens to be one of our former secondary area teachers teaching at a conference that we had at Wilkes University. Okay, ladies, all yours. Anything else?
Dr. Fry.
So right now, as it stands, you can also add on certification in special education. And as we mentioned earlier, it's currently it's pre-K through 8 or 7 through 12, or you can starting this January, starting now, you can do the certification that's pre-K through age 21 years of age. So that's an option for you that certainly makes you more marketable.
Sure.
Especially if you're interested in special education. So that does require additional coursework, but in this new program that we're developing in the 4+1 program, you can complete all of the certification requirements for the pre-K through 21 special education certification in the 4 years. And then in that extra year, you can continue on with us for your master's if you so choose. So we're excited about that. And I will mention that as it stands, if it goes through, we also have a reading minor embedded into that certification area as well.
And I'm thrilled for that, because you will see that the majority of students that you work with, if you are a special education teacher, have reading and language difficulties. So we truly believe, just like in our pre-K4 program, that having that strong foundation in literacy will help you across the board, no matter what you're teaching, but particularly in special education. We think that that really has to be a focus, and this program will have that for you.
Well, those are not all students you see in this photo. Do you spot someone you've met this evening there? Who do you see? There she is.
There she is. There's Dr. Rabbit.
They're a little bit different now. If you have your doctorate,
different
you might
glasses.
have those stripes on your sleeves like that. That's what makes it a little bit different when you have your doctorate there. She's going to go
That's
through that bubble arch there pretty soon, which is balloons that are blue and gold. We've
That's
got
right.
great stats. 83% of our students on their first attempt pass their exit tests for certification. Whether or not you know it, just like attorneys have to pass the bar to practice, you too as teachers need to pass certification exams. The Pennsylvania average is 72%. I think we outdo that pretty nicely. And if you take a look at the 3.0 GPA, 100% of our grads earn at least a 3.0 GPA. The median GPA of our grads is 3.63, and that's out of a 4.0.
Mhm.
And since 2010, over 91% of our grads have been hired as area teachers or teachers in the United States or teachers throughout the world.
I don't mean to go back, but did
Go back.
Jordan get her questions answered about the reading minor? I'm not sure how much she wanted to know. No, she didn't. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Unmute yourself, Jordan. Let's talk about the reading minor.
That's what Jordan was having a hard time unmuting.
Oh, she was the one. Oh, okay.
But Jordan, we can absolutely talk more about the reading minor. So we have built into the program. So if you are interested in elementary and early childhood education or special ed as a standalone major, we have built courses in. So the courses that you would take within your 4 years at Wilkes are specific to literacy, reading foundations, content area reading, children's literature. So all of that, you will have a minor in reading education, which will significantly help you as a teacher in a public or private school system, wherever you would choose to teach. And we followed that model, as Dr. Fry said, in our special education major as well, because we just feel that it's so very important.
Yeah, so the quality of you actually having a positive impact with your students is there, but then also marketability to have you and another candidate, you've got an extra credential that they don't. So it helps you that way. And then there was a question about going to other states with that
Yes.
certification.
So for certification, and again, we help you through this process, really through every step of the way. You would have all of us and some of our other faculty as advisors, where we meet with you, we help you choose your classes, we make sure that you are meeting these benchmarks of passing certain tests that you need to take, that your GPA, your grade point average, is high enough. And then at the end of the program, after you student teach and you take these exit exams, which we just talked a little bit about before, you will apply for your Pennsylvania teaching certification. And that goes through our Pennsylvania Department of Ed. And yes, we have reciprocity. So that means that we have agreements with 48 out of our 50 states within the United States, where it's a fairly seamless process. In fact, I'm working on it right now. I will say one of my students is from Long Island, actually. So I'm meeting with her tomorrow. She's substitute teaching. So I'm meeting with her tomorrow at 3:30, and we are going to start the process for her New York certification. So once you hold that Pennsylvania cert, it's a much more seamless process to then apply to other states for their certification. Pennsylvania holds one of the highest teacher education standards in terms of what our GPA requirements are, as well as our end of program testing. So because of that, other states are very grateful, I will say, to have Pennsylvania teachers, because they do know how they are trained. So yes, so that was a long-winded answer for yes, you can go to other states and teach, and we help you with that.
Speaking of Pennsylvania and other states, the average salary as of the 2020-2021 school year this year, right now, is $44,647 starting. And some of the highest starting salaries are in the eastern part of Pennsylvania and in Bucks County, namely, and also in the Neshaminy School District, Penridge School District too. Nationally, the average is $38,761, and we're behind the states that are listed there. Behind Washington, New Jersey, California, Alaska, Hawaii, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, Wyoming, and Maryland. So that puts us 10th. And it doesn't want to move for some reason or other. No idea why. Oops, there it goes. All right.
There we go.
And we've got a list of grade levels and salary, the means here in Pennsylvania and the mean in the United States.
And again, what you may not realize or be familiar with, and which would be fine at your age. Yeah, I remember coming out as a new teacher and just being so happy to have a job. Not even really looking at my contract and just signing on the dotted line. I do not recommend doing that, but every contract in Pennsylvania is so very different. So there is really no uniformity across districts within the state of Pennsylvania. And what we also offer, so when you are student teaching, we have educational attorneys and representatives of our Pennsylvania State Education Association who will come in and talk to you about the importance of bargaining agreements. And they will also show you sample contracts. So they'll show you a contract, let's say, for instance, from Wilkes-Barre area, from Abington Heights, from Riverside, from Pittsburgh. So they will show contracts from all over the state so that you feel a little bit more familiar and have a deeper understanding of really how these contracts can be quite different in terms of salary, benefits packages, and I think very important for new teachers, if districts will pay for you to continue your education. So whether it be a master's degree, a doctorate, or an additional certification. So we always provide those opportunities for you so you feel very informed when making your decisions when you finish our program.
I see we have a new person on the chat or the line here, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, Amy. What area of education are you interested in?
Special education.
Of
Excellent.
course, it's special ed evening.
Wow. Dr. Fry, we're so happy. Amy, Dr. Fry and I, that's our background is special ed, and we've had several students who are interested in this session. So we're thrilled. We're always thrilled to have special ed teachers with us. So welcome.
We've got some interesting students here today with some good interests. That's
Absolutely.
We've got math, science, special ed, and foreign languages that really kind of are some of the need areas in education. And if you can help meet the needs in some of those areas, you'll probably get a job a lot quicker than you would imagine too. So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
If you want to know why you should choose Wilkes and what makes us special, there are many reasons, and there are over 100 colleges and universities in Pennsylvania. And why choose Wilkes? That young man you see there, sitting there in front, is Michael Brown, a recent graduate and a new teacher.
That's right. He's in the Wyoming Valley West School District as a special education teacher.
I'm standing next to his coach, John Laudenslager, his wrestling coach. That's where that picture is all about. And we think what makes us special makes you extra prepared to be a teacher. And Dr. Fry, do you want to jump in and share some things here?
Okay, so some of the things that we offer that we believe make us stand out, we have early and extensive field experiences. We've talked a bit about that, but in your first year, usually your second semester, you have the opportunity that soon to go out and spend time engaging in school classrooms to gain experience. So it's not just book learning in the university classrooms, it's actually getting out in classrooms in the community and working with children and learning as you're doing. We have small class sizes. I would say that 20 is probably the maximum in our education courses. And that's a little unusual. It's usually a little less than that. Maybe 15 is probably more the norm as far as the numbers of Wilkes students in a classroom at one time in the education department. We have highly qualified faculty. So you've met several of us this evening. We have others on our faculty who are equally qualified and excited to give you opportunities. We give you lots of opportunities for collaboration, professional development. Dr. Polachek, for example, has taken groups of students to conferences, a national conference last year, right, Dr. Polachek?
Actually, international conference in
International.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right
that's,
before we were told to stay home.
yeah, so that was a really great experience for those students. We are working on what's called NACE accreditation. That's the National Association for the Education of Young Children. And we are in March starting the official process. We've been working on this for over a year, gathering background information and so forth. But once the university has the NACE accreditation, that will be another feather in your cap, I guess you could say, as far as standing out among others. Oh, Nick, I see that you are having to go. So thanks for joining us, and contact us if you have any questions.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nick. Bye.
Thank you,
Not
Nick.
campus.
We also, as Dr. Galala, I believe, mentioned earlier, we advise our own students. So at some universities and colleges, they have advisors who just advise. At Wilkes, one of the things that really attracted me to the university when I came here was that the instructors advise students. So if you come to Wilkes, one of us that you see here tonight or one of the other professors in our department would be assigned as your advisor. If you are looking at mid-level or secondary level, you would have two advisors, one from the department that you are interested in as far as a content area, plus an education department advisor. And we do much more than help you schedule courses each semester. We get to know you, we spend time with you, not to smother you or mother you, but to try and guide you and advise you or point you in a direction to try and get answers to your questions. Professionalism obviously is in the forefront for all of us, and service is central to our mission. So I think you'll see on a slide coming up the opportunity to belong to what we call the Education Club. That's very focused on service to our community and our local school districts. And Kappa Delta Pi, the Education Honor Society, joins with Ed Club. And so we work together on service projects and so forth. In your first year, you're going to really focus in one of your courses on the key elements for becoming an effective teacher. This is where your field experience will begin. You'll spend 40 hours in a classroom that is connected in some way with your major area of interest. And we will use Danielson's framework for teaching to impress upon you, I will say, the key elements of an effective teacher. And then you'll get to observe that out in classrooms and then hopefully begin to understand and practice some of those key elements within that one class. And I'll talk about our professional development school opportunities. We have an elementary opportunity at the Heights Murray Elementary School. It's within walking distance from campus. You have to walk up a hill though, so just so that you're aware of that. But it is within walking distance. It's an urban school and they have a high population of low income students. So it's a really good experience to see. I'm going to phrase it such that you can see what can be done with limited resources. And it's awesome what can be done.
And it is awesome, but I also want to say our awesome Clancy has to leave early. So I want to make sure that we give her a proper farewell.
Yes.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Clancy. And please contact us if you have any questions at all.
Thank
Please.
you. Great night,
And
everyone.
good night. And just so everyone knows, if you do have to leave, we completely understand. I did put my email in the chat. So if there's any questions that you have or comments, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, but don't just disappear. I like how everybody has been really personally and professionally responsible in letting us know before just disappearing.
Right. Thank you for that. So the other one PDS opportunity that I've talked about a little bit previously is with a school called the Graham Academy. They have two buildings, one for their, we call it the lower school in Kingston, and that's for their elementary program through 8th grade. And then their upper school is their high school. That's in Luzerne, Pennsylvania, and that's 9th through 12th grade. Or a lot of times in special education, we have to assign students to a grade level, but a lot of students remain in school until they're 21. And so it's not that they fail a grade, but sometimes they are listed at the same grade level for a couple of years, just so that they can get the full experience of staying until they're age 21. So we do have students in that high school population who do exit at age 21. And it's, at least in the high school, it's very focused on transition. So as a student from Wilkes, you get to participate in transition assessments. We have helped them to create career fairs, mock interviews, all sorts of things that we are continuing to grow and expand upon at that high school level. So that would be an awesome experience for you as well. And then our newest professional development school is in an early learning center called Illumination. It's also very close to campus. And I was able to participate through some Zoom sessions this fall. And even though we weren't able to be there face to face, engaging with the students, it was so much fun to participate virtually and watch the children play and try and analyze, I guess you could call it, what they were doing and how does that connect with what we're learning from the textbook and from the professor who's teaching the course. It was really a fun experience. So that's an opportunity for folks in that pre-K4 program.
Absolutely. I think, we've had to think, as we all have, right? We've all had to think outside the box. How can we still do what we do, but in our era of COVID, make it safe and healthy for all of us? And I think we've done quite a nice job with some growing pains.
Remarkable. Not a nice job. You've done an excellent, really, the students didn't miss a beat. It was impressive.
The students they really haven't. I mean, they have made us so proud, but I will say particularly with the early learning center. So they were kind enough. We gave them a camera and it's set up so that we get live shots. We can watch what the students are with, what the children are doing, what their teachers are doing. And then the teachers will get onto the camera and chat with us like we're doing right now. Like, it's a really amazing experience. And, in the beginning we thought, how are we going to make this work? But we did, and we will continue to do so. So this picture, you will see that this is a picture of some of our student teachers from years past. And as we had mentioned, this is a group of pre-K4, middle level, and secondary. But our secondary students, as we mentioned, also, and I think this is very important, that they also hold an academic major. So if you choose chemistry, you will follow the same chemistry track that any chemistry student would take in addition to secondary ed. So again, you have a really strong content knowledge, which is extremely important, and districts really look favorably at that because that is not the case in all secondary programs across the United States.
And some of our supervisors of student teachers are sprinkled in here.
Yes, they are. Thank you. Here we go. Patsy Ignar, who's coming back now for virtual supervision, who lives in Florida. But because we're supervising virtually, she can be part of our crew again. So that is wonderful as well. So as I mentioned before, we are with you every step of the way, and even more so when you're student teaching. So you are assigned a university supervisor who is your support system. In addition to your course that you take with me, I mentioned those are the students that I work with. And your university supervisor comes in, whether virtual or in face-to-face, they will come in and supervise you. They will help you. They will give you support. They will assess you, and they will work with your cooperating teacher as well. And you will also, for secondary students, you will have a content area supervisor. So someone from one of our 9 content areas will also come out and serve as supervisor. So there's many layers of support for you during this final capstone experience.
This is one of our classrooms, and as Dr. Franz Frey said before, our courses have less than 25 students. They average anywhere from maybe 12 to 15 or 16. And that way, everyone gets a chance to practice teaching in class, to interact in engaging discussions and activities. And this is one of our classrooms here. We get to know you by name, that's for sure. You're not in a huge lecture hall with 140 other students becoming a teacher. It doesn't happen that way at Wilkes. Some students love that. Sometimes students who don't do their work don't like that.
They get to like it, right? It just takes a little getting used to for some of them.
It does. We've got such cool hands-on opportunities, not only in our partner schools like the professional development schools and students in the region, but we bring children to campus as well. And in the summertime, we have programs called the Reading Academy and the Arts Academy. And these are actual students and a teacher. There she is, a student who's sitting on the ground playing with the kids, and they're doing some sticks and triangles for music there. So we have them come to campus and we transform a whole floor of one of our college buildings where our education department is into creative classrooms with very cool themes.
And that student is Maria Bernori, and she is currently teaching in Colorado.
She is in Breckenridge, and she moved out there because she loves to snowboard. And she's a spokesperson for a company called She Shreds. And the kids love her. There's lots of collaboration. We see students on the top left sitting in our resource room, which is there for you. It's loaded with all kinds of books, and we've got some computers in there. And mostly it's a place to come and work together in small groups and decompress. On the right top, you'll see that those are students who participated in presenting at a children's literature conference that we sponsored on campus. And in the bottom, you'll see, once again, the students. And you see all those brown things against the wall there. That's part of what's called an Ellison press. If you take those die, what you do is you put it in the machine with the handle that you see, along with a piece of construction paper, and you can cut out all kinds of letters and pictures, forms. Students have an opportunity to travel and present with faculty. These are students that have presented with me on 4 occasions now. They are secondary students, and they are all history majors, all graduated, all with positions right now in education. And we're dressed in 60s costumes here because we did a presentation at the International Society for Social Studies and the Pennsylvania Council for Social Studies, as well as regional schools, including Wilkes and some private public schools, about making art and music, not war, thinking about strategies to teach students about the Vietnam War culture. Yep, we had a good time. And yes, we made those posters. And yes, that says drop acid, not bombs. We had a good time. We were very, very well received, and our presentations were among the highest in attendance. So kudos go to our students who are so well prepared.
And to you, Dr. Polachek. We got to see the presentation because Dr. Polachek and the students came in and did the presentation for our student teachers. And it was fantastic.
Lots of fun. Dr. Galella, here we go.
Here we go, our field experiences. So our field experiences, the state would like us to have about 100 to 200 hours of field before you student teach. We far exceed with our professional development school experience as well, over 200 hours. Actually, at the last count, we were over 400 hours that students have before they student teach. And our thought is the more time you have in the classroom, the more comfortable you're going to be, the more effective you're going to be, right? It's like anything else. You need to practice to become really good at something. You know, if you're an athlete and you're a swimmer, the more you swim, the better you're going to be. So the more you teach, the better you're going to be, the more comfortable you're going to be. And also you're going to learn to work with lots of different personalities. You're going to work with teachers that you automatically connect with. You may have some teachers that it takes a little longer to connect with, and that's okay, because that's real life. And you're going to learn the skills, not just to be effective in the classroom, but also for you to be effective effective just in life and getting along with people and collaborating with your colleagues. So you will have a variety of grade levels. So if you're pre-K4, you will have field experiences in early childhood through 4th grade. Middle level, you will have experiences 4th through 8th, and secondary 7th through 12. And you'll be in private schools, you will be in public schools, you will be in urban school districts, suburban, as well as rural. So we try to give you the most diverse experience that we can so that you see where you want to be. And again, then you can make a more informed decision about where you would like to student teach and ultimately have your own classroom.
We've got a
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. We've got an induction ceremony that happens, and it's really wonderful as well because you get a proud to be a teacher pin, and it's very exciting. Oh, look at that picture down there. It looks like Dr. Franz Frey and Dr. Galala have short hair there.
Both look so different.
We really do. We never know in these pictures, Karen, right? With our hairstyles over the years.
That's right. So you'll be participating in that, and you'll be a part of that. We've got lots of outreach opportunities in STEM, and our dean is a big proponent of STEM. Just in case, just a reminder for you, it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And you put an A in there and it spells STEAM. Then you throw the arts in there, and I'm a big proponent of STEAM. We've got a Kirby Scholar for Education program you can be part of, Adventures in Science events, and lots of STEM education workshops for the Panamanian students we spoke about, and for SHINE students. SHINE students are students who get extra help and participate in programs in regional school districts, and our Wilkes students help with the teaching of SHINE students. And those are our students, yep, and they are outside our building on the Wilkes campus. It's a beautiful campus. If you have not visited it, hopefully you'll be able to visit soon. It's absolutely stunning on the banks of the Susquehanna River. Lots of old coal baron mansions. Beautiful historic district. All yours, Dr. Franz Frey.
And this is what we referenced earlier about the Education Honor Society. It is an international honor society. So once you become a member, you have access to a wealth of resources, materials, and so forth. We offer opportunities for professionalism, for leadership, and for service. The picture that you see here is one of our mock interview sessions. We always held them once a semester until last spring, and then that sort of went by the wayside, hoping that we're going to be able to do something maybe this semester. Maybe I can put something together virtually for us, I'm not sure. But what we do is invite the area administrators, building principals, superintendents in to actually conduct mock interviews with our students. So students sign up and we try and give them, in this 1.5 to 2 hour time frame, we try to give each of the students at least 2 different interview experiences at the level that they are hoping to teach. So if they're looking at secondary, we would try and connect them with a secondary principal and maybe a superintendent. And the folks who come in ask questions that they would actually ask in a first round interview, other than questions like, why would you choose our school district, personal kinds of things. But the more general questions that they would ask in a first round interview to give our students some experience to know what to expect when they actually go out into real interviews. We encourage students to develop a resume, and if you have one, then the administrator interviewing you will take a look at that and offer you feedback and suggestions. So it's really a good experience to participate in that.
I am noticing the time, and I just want to be conscious of our guests here this evening.
Yes.
We're almost at the end of our slide presentation, so we'll have some time for questions. We've got an education club. They do fabulous things. These are our students working towards some of the common good activities. And it's very, very active, the education club. And we want to close with why you should choose Wilkes. Well, we know there are over 100 now colleges and universities in Pennsylvania that's certified. And we think that what makes us special makes you prepared once again. And we want to make sure that you do all of these things, that you can master everything on this list, from academic content to motivating students and planning and assessment and being as professional as you possibly can be. Once again, our student teachers.
Yes.
Dr.
And we
Dr.
talked a little bit about our supervision.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say very quickly, so because of COVID last spring and this spring, we are not going to Arizona, but in years past, and what we hope to continue next year, is that we have an application process where our student teachers can do half of their student teaching in the state of Arizona. We work with a variety of school districts. Our student teachers go to Casa Grande, which is in the southern part of Arizona. And our wonderful partners will house students in their homes for 7 weeks. And I typically fly out with students to get them acclimated. And I will tell you that many of our students, we have 5 students right now that are currently teaching in Casa Grande.
How many?
5, because they chose to stay there after they
How many
graduated.
years have you been going over there?
We have been going over there for 5 years now,
Yeah, there you go.
every year.
Mhm.
And we have more and more students who love it there, who love the state, who fall in love with the school district. They're so welcoming and they love our teachers. So many different opportunities that we will provide you within the state of Pennsylvania, but also outside of the state, so that you can really find the path that best suits you.
And I'm proud to announce that Miss Jen Barron, who teaches out there, just got an Outstanding Teacher Award
Yes.
this month in the school district where she works.
We just found out today.
Yeah.
She just shared that today.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we'd like to know what questions you have, and we'll stop that share.
We know we gave you a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Actually, we did pretty well today. We kind of stayed on time.
I know. Questions. Remember, there are no silly questions. So anything you're thinking, if you're thinking it, someone else is probably thinking it.
Mhm.
This is called wait time. It's
That's
what
right.
you want to do with your students, because sometimes you might think silence is uncomfortable, but it's not really. It gives time for people to think.
That's right.
Well, if you do have any questions, Dr. Galella left her information on the chat. You can always call 1-800-WILKES-U and ask for any one of us in the education department. We'd be happy to talk to you, or our dean, Dean Rhonda Rabbit. So on behalf of the School of Education at Wilkes University and the Education Department.
Oh, there's the question.
Oh, good.
Question.
Good.
What is your favorite thing about teaching?
May, great question.
I think my favorite thing about teaching is meeting students and getting to see them grow over a 4-year time period. We are so fortunate to be able to do that. And every semester is different. I'm preparing for courses, as are Dr. Galella and Dr. Franz Fry right now, for spring. We start on February 1st. And I know for a fact that every semester is totally different, with surprises and content and interactions. There's nothing like teaching. Nothing like it.
It's the best profession in the world. I truly believe that. And I agree. There's nothing better, whether it was in a public school system, a K-12 system when I taught there, or at Wilkes in higher ed, to see that light bulb go on and see that growth. When I was a special education teacher, and many times I had students for more than 1 year, in my building, and it was a K-4 building. I was the only special ed teacher in my building. So I had kindergarten, I'd have them all the way through 4th grade. So to see that growth, and even with our college students, I see them at open house, or I see them during freshman orientation. And then when they get to me as student teachers, I am pleasantly surprised, not that you weren't all amazing in the beginning, but the growth and the maturity, and being able to say to school districts, here is someone who will be a true asset to your district, is a really amazing feeling.
And the 4 years fly by so
Oh,
fast.
so
I can't
quickly.
believe it.
Yeah.
So quickly.
I think our students stay in touch with us. I know Dr. Funsfry and I had a conversation about this years later, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, 10 years later. We just gave an award out to a student, a former student who's a teacher now in a local school district, and we give lots of awards out actually. And she was here how long ago, Dr. Goella?
Oh,
Stacy?
gosh. 18, 19 years ago.
And she's got, you know, a family of her own, and she's been
Mhm.
teaching, and she's a veteran in the field right now, but she still stays in touch with us. And we go to our students' weddings and celebrate their babies. And
Well, and that's why they
They
keep
do.
coming back for master's degrees. They just can't stay away from you
Yeah.
guys.
They
and
do.
doctoral. So you come back for your doctorate at Wilkes too, if you'd
That's
like.
right. We have everything here. And it's a family. It truly is.
Absolutely.
Our students, you know, we are here obviously to help them academically, but it's so much more than that. It's a
Yeah.
personal support system, which I think, you know, as you realize that the whole person, that's how you make the most growth. And again, that's just who we are. That's our department. That's our
That's a great
school. That's the
closing-
university.
Great closing soundbite. You refer to the whole person, and the whole thing about teaching is recognizing the whole child.
That's
Right.
right.
Wow. This was a good session. This was an
Yeah, very nice.
It
excellent.
really was. Thank you all for spending
Thank
time
you.
with us. We really appreciate it. And again, any comments, questions you have, do not hesitate. Reach out to us at any time. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, faculty. Thank you, students. Look forward to reuniting on campus with everybody.
Thanks.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye,
Stay
everybody.
safe and healthy.
Be
This is
safe.
awesome. Thank you so much. Have a nice night.
Wow, what a great group.